Good morning, my fellow classmates and professor. My name is Arya Siri and Atitaya Santawakun. Do you know Lisa? She is Thai, but she is a K-pop in South Korea. And do you know how South Korea has a regime? Today, we will explain to everyone. We have broken down our presentation into 3 parts. In the first part, I will talk about South Korea history. In the next part, I will explain about conflict between North and South Korea. In the last part, I will discuss about South Korea regime. Now let's look at the first aspect, which is South Korea history. The history of South Korea family began with the Japanese surrender on September 2, 1945. Noting that South Korea and North Korea are entirely different countries, despite still began the same people and on the same peninsula. South Korea's subsequent history is marked by alternating pilots of democratic and authoritarian rule. Civilian government are conventionally numbers from the First Republic of Siam to the contemporary Sixth Republic. The First Republic agrarian democratic at the inception became increasingly authoritarian until its collapse. Republic was slowly democratic but was overthrown in less than a year and replaced by an authoritarian military regime. The third, fourth, and fifth republic were nominally democratic but are widely regarded as the continuation of military rule. With the Sixth Republic, the country has gradually stabilized into a liberal democracy. Since inception, South Korea has seen substantial development in education, economy, and culture. Since the 1960s, the country has developed from one of Asia's poorest to one of the world's wealthiest nations. Education, particularly at the tertiary level, has increased dramatically. It is designed to be one of the 4 tigers of rising Asia states, along with Singapore, Taiwan, and Hong Kong.
This is all we have explained about the history of South Korea, which resulted from the conflict between North and South Korea. You want to know more, don't you? Conflict between North and South Korea. The conflict in Korea had its beginning in 1945, at the end of World War II. Because Japan had occupied the Korea Peninsula in the years before and during World War II. Both the Soviet Union and the United States worked to liberate the region from the Japanese. The Soviet Union invaded the northern half of Korea in August of 1945 and liberated it from Japanese control, with American forces liberating the southern half soon after. By 1948, Korea had been officially split into 2 halves with separate governments along the 38th parallel. North Korea would be led during the war by Kim Il-sung, who ruled over the country as a dictator. South Korea would be led by President Syngman Lee, an anti-communist statesman.
After we learn of the conflict that resulted in the separation of Korea into North and Korea is governed by what's kind and how so let's turn to last part shall we South Korea regime South Korea political history has always been prone to space form and matches with other party. One reason is that three is rather emphasis around the politics of the person and rather than party. 3-4 party loyalty is not strong than disagreement occur the graph below Eritrea, the extent of the political volatility with that the last 10 years along those space were intensified after the 2016 South Korea political scandal. The politics of the Republic of Korea take in place in the framework of presidential democratic republic whereby the president is the head of state and of a multi-party system. The government exercise executive power and legislative power is vested is born the government and the National Assembly. The judiciary is independent of the executive and the legislature and comprise a Supreme Court, appellate court, and a constitutional court signed 1948, and constitution has undergone 5 major revisions signifying a new republic. The current Sixth Republic began with the last major constitutional revision in 1987.
South Korea elect on national level a head of state, the president, and a legislature. The president is elected from a 5-year term by the people. The National Assembly has 300 members, elected for a 4-year term. 252 members in single-seat constituency, and 47 members by proportional representation. The main two political parties in South Korea are the Liberal Democratic Party of Korea and the Conservative People Power Party, formerly the Union Future Party. The Liberal camp and the Conservative camp are the dominant forces of Korea politics as present. That's the end of our presentation. In conclusion, South Korea is a democratic root considered the Republic of Korea, with the president as a head of state, which have been contradicted and separated from North Korea due to political ideology that don't making South Korea a democratic root until now. To sum up today, we have said about 3 parts. Firstly, South Korea history caused by conflict with North Korea, thus causing separation of the country. Secondly, the conflict between North and South Korea caused by political conflict until causing the Korean War. And the last part is a regime of South Korea that is a parliamentary democracy As a result, Korea became the Republic of Korea. We think this is all about South Korea that we should know, make more political knowledge in a country that has developed a world famous art and culture. So we want you to visit South Korea. There is a list of original sources on the last page. Wikipedia.org, bomharvard.edu, and history.com. Thank you very much for your attention.